How do you feel about this team after 3 weeks?
I'm real upbeat about this team because we worked so hard coming from last season and starting off 2-1. Can't get no better than that.
What is it with, and I know you're not a defensive guy, but what is it with falling behind? You guys, 2 games you've fallen behind now, and both times you've had to battle back. Not that you want to be in that position, but what's it tell you about this team, being able to battle from behind?
That we just going to keep playing through the whistle, going to play through diversity, and you see the results from that. You see that our team has a lot of heart, and that's what we work for. But for the rest of the season, we're going to try our best not to start off slow because it's real hard to come from behind, especially when you play against good teams in our conference, because you never know when you're going to win or lose.
How frustrating do you think it is for opposing defenses facing you personally? Because the fact you can throw, you can run, you can hurt them in a number of different ways. And how frustrating do you think it is for them?
Well, I know if I was going against myself, I'll try to come up with some different schemes. But I mean, if it doesn't work, then there's nothing that you can do. But we also got other players that they got to watch out for, not just me. We got good running backs, good receivers, and our O-line is real good. So they got to worry about more than me.
Is it nice to have maybe that bullet that they, if you can go to someone, or if they stop you, you can go to someone else? Nice having that luxury?
It makes my job pretty much easier. Instead of me just focusing on one guy, knowing that you have other talented players makes it easier on me.
You see the confidence beginning to kind of snowball, and everybody's now in a rhythm. And of course, you knew that would just take a little bit of time, but do you see the rhythm and the confidence in this offense now in terms of where you want it to be?
Well, honestly, I've seen the confidence during the pit game, even though we was down, but we was still trying, and we was moving the ball. So we took that into the next game, and as you've seen, we was very successful. And also into the next game, even though with my 2 interceptions, but we still came back and won the game.
Conference play opens up, of course, this week, and I'm sure that's one of the things that you list as a goal is you want to win a conference crown, but it starts this week. Talk about, is the enthusiasm up a little bit? Is you get a little more amped up knowing it's a conference game?
Well, we're just going to take it one game at a time. We're not going to look past any team because I think a couple times last year we've done that, and we started slow, and then we had to come back and win a couple of games. So we're not going to look past any team.
Brandon, it's human nature. You're playing a team that hasn't won in 30 games. I mean, it's human nature to look at that. How do you not put that in the mind of being a senior? How do you relay that information to some of the younger players?
Well, as you can see that when we played them last year, we was down by a couple touchdowns, and we had to work really hard just to come back into that game. And we don't want to fall into the same mistakes because sometimes you can't really come back from that.
Sometimes people will say teams like that have such a long losing streak, that have struggled for a long period of time, sometimes they're more dangerous than some of the top teams. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know they're going to have a different mindset. Well, everybody's going to have a different mindset. If you haven't won a game in so long that you're so hungry to win one game, and then so every team is going to be their target. And this week we're their target, and we're just ready about it.
What would you like to see from this group this week to pick up yet another win?
Not start off slow, basically, on the offensive side. Defensively, we're doing pretty good, but offensively, we just can't start off slow because you never know. We might not be able to come back from this.
I know it's the beginning of the week, but what do you already know about the Indiana State defense you'll be facing and the kind of things it'll take to make their day a bad one?
Well, just keep doing what we're doing, and no penalties, no turnovers, no mistakes, and then we're going to do just fine. We're not going to take them lightly.
Brandon, do you feel you spread out your throws to the receivers enough? I mean, the 13 to Donald, 12 to Dominic, and then it drops off to 7 there. Are you confident that you've been able to, for lack of a better term, satisfy the receivers?
I try my best. I don't want to have any enemies on my side of the ball. But that's what spring ball is all about, just working with each player and then going through the summer, playing throw and catch with everybody so you can get comfortable with them.
Seems like Dominique and Donald have both come along quite a bit over the last couple of years. What have you seen from them? What areas of improvement have you seen from them over the last couple games in the last 2 years?
Really, they just work hard. They work hard to get open. They know the schemes, and also the other receivers are doing well. Also, like Aaron Pitts came along, and he's worked really hard also. So, trying to distribute the ball all around.
As one of the leaders, what are you most pleased with collectively this program has done so far this season?
Intensity. We're always intense. We're never down. Head coach does a good job with that, just keeping us upbeat, just treating us like we're his sons, basically.
Brandon, what about your progress? We talked earlier in camp about how you want to be a little more efficient with the ball and want to try and force things. How do you think you've come along so far?
Well, the last game there was a couple mistakes that could easily be corrected, but other than that, I feel that I still need to improve. I'm not perfect. Well, nobody's perfect. There's always room to grow. So that's what watching film does for you.
Can you see yourself making strides from last year? I mean, when you watch film, do you see yourself, doing things more accurately than maybe last year?
Well, that's a goal of mine. That's always been a goal of mine, just to always become better every day, every game, so we have a chance or a shot at the national title. So bring a national title back home to Youngstown.
Indiana State has 6 sacks in 4 games. Not a lot, but do they put pressure on the quarterback? Do they rush the quarterback, blitz?
They do pretty good. But I think our online is ready for the challenge.
How important is it to get off to a good start in conference play overall?
Well, like I said before, you never know. Any team can be beat at any time, so just make sure that you know your assignments and know what you're doing, and we won't have to come from behind anymore.
Brandon, what about the last 2 games? Same exact score, 38-21.
Well, that's we have a team goal of getting 35 points a game. If you score 35 or higher, then you're most likely to guarantee a win. But that's not only guaranteed, but defense has to do their job also, because we can't keep going back and forth with the team. So the defense has been doing a pretty good job so far.